Раз, раз, раз. Проверяем. Вырви глаз. Звук там выключен немножко, ничего не слышно. Раз, раз, раз. Проверяем. Вырви глаз. Классно. Звук там выключен немножко, ничего не слышно. Раз. Так, 7-я часть. Мы уже сделали очень много. Мы исследовали почти там все планеты, добыли этот газ, который позволяет восстанавливать колонистов. Теперь нам нужно быстренько газ отнести. Куда мне надо его отнести? Мне нужно его отнести. Вот создам. Финису. Да, и понять, что это за следующий шаг. Главное, что... Ага, вот туда. Побежали. Я уже не помню, как я сюда пробрался. Явно мне не сюда. Тут есть какой-то быстрый проход. Там враги. Тут выход. Прикольно. Опа, я понял, где этот вход. Там, где... Как тут все сделано в стилях там... Этих... Моровинда, Обливиона. Нет, в Моровинде вряд ли так было. В Обливионе так началось. Быстрое путешествие недоступно, да? Побежали. Опять убивать. Ну, извините, я не хотел. И зарядка. Блин, вот этот перк крит после убийства очень сильная штука. Ой, я уже думал. Получается, критуешь, убиваешь. Дальше убиваешь, критуешь. Там дырка. Что-то у нас есть, набор дипломата. Развлекаются там. А мы дальше пойдем. Где выход-то? Вот здесь. Второй-то чего упал? Так, сейчас отнесем этот дикло. Как же этот газ-то называется? Диметил. Сульфоксид. Блин, я химик. И газ не могу произвести. Я даже не знаю, есть ли такой газ. Но диметил этот CH3 дважды. Сульфа это серая. Оксид серы. И чё, в чем дело? Где лифт? А, вот он. Оранжевый, красный. Опять 10 этажей. Что там, желающих напасть нету? Хорошо. Летим сейчас уже к профессору.
You have a message from Adjutant Sophia Akande.
No one ever looks quite the same in person as they do in my reports.
Так а ты кто такая? Я не помню тебя.
And my reports of you have been exceptionally thorough. You've had quite a career.
Ты коллеги, что ли? Так. Давайте пропустим обменным любезностям.
You have something I want. I'd like to negotiate.
И что же у меня есть? Вот эти диметил сульфооксид? А, это, короче, эти шпионы СВО, которые меня атаковали, точно.
There's exactly one vessel in all of Byzantium that looks like it dropped out of an aether wave drama. Phineas Wells is wanted by the board. I want to convince you to turn him in to us.
Да, конечно. Зачем мне его выдавать, если он меня спас? Я бы не стал его выдавать.
He has a litany of charges against him. Vandalism, illegal experimentation, sedition. I could go on. Wells is a dangerous madman. His plan is going to endanger everyone in Halcyon. He's an obsessive psychopath.
Посмотрим, может, правда так?
You're in contact with Wells. I want you to send us a tracing signal from his communication terminal.
Вы хотите, чтобы я предал?
Wells was our mistake. We failed to apprehend him for years. I'm asking you to help me correct that mistake. I'm sending you my access code. Contact me from Wells's terminal. When you're done, come speak to me in my office.
Adjutant Akande's call has been terminated.
Летим отсюда. Короче, нет, я пока не планирую. Можно сохраниться и когда-нибудь сюда вернуться. Это какое получается сохранение? Значит, запомним. Нормально. Время игры 21 час 38 минут. Вернуться и потом попробовать его предать чисто ради интереса. Узнать другую либо концовку, либо еще что-то.
Now arriving at Phineas's top secret orbital lab. Stay safe out there.
Hey, you got a minute?
Есть минутка? Ну давай, что ты скажешь?
If we wanted the board's attention, we got options. Piracy, vandalism, maybe... We want to put some fear in the board, right? Get him scared of us.
Немало причин нас бояться. Вон они уже против меня воюют.
You just got an audience with Sophia Akande. That's the adjutant to the chairman? You sure we should be trusting her?
Как тебе только что назначил прием. София Аканде, этот судья-предатель. Ты уверен, что ей можно доверять?
If you think she's using us, why'd you give her the time of day?
Так я не собираюсь на нее тратить время.
You got some secret plan to double-cross the board? I knew it! Sorry, I probably shouldn't have said that out loud. I know we're freelancers and all. We take work where we can find. This is how the board gets you. A job here, an errand there. Before you know it, you're calling him sir and ma'am. I appreciate you.
Ладно, я понял. Нет, я же не буду с коллегией. Я уже решил с профессором. С коллегией там сохраним, загрузимся потом в конце. И попробуем. Так. Вот как раз это. Найдите терминал связи Велса и передайте сигнал. Движение Софии нет. Я буду с профессором пока. С коллегией потом попробуем. А там терминал связи, да? Ну, привет.
I've kept myself busy in your absence, optimized my formula. I'm now confident I can revive the remaining colonists. All I need now is the dimethyl sulfoxide. I'll take as much as you can give me.
Надеюсь, ты меня не кинешь? Так. Я нашел твой реагент в министерстве, коллеги испытывал их на людях. А вообще, да, колония на гибели.
What? Oh, yes, well, that's obvious. Anyone with 2 working labs can see this colony's slouching toward oblivion. Why do you think we've been doing all this? I revived you to help me save Halcyon from annihilation. Hold on. Let me see if I understand this correctly. You're saying that Halcyon's on the brink of total collapse? And the chairman's plan to save all of us is to...
Да, я согласен.
save
Я не знаю,
himself?
почему я вообще выбрал эту ветку.
I always knew Halcyon was heading toward a systems collapse, but I never imagined we were already there. The board made this crisis, and now they want to solve it by freezing the rest of us? That's not a plan. That's a goddamn... That makes 2 things we don't have. Time and... None of this was supposed to happen. I was supposed to revive the Hope's colonists. Human test subjects. Oh, that's grotesque. That's unthinkable. That's... Damn, that's not enough. Not nearly enough for the whole ship. I could revive a handful of settlers. Maybe...
Ну, не стал я убивать людей.
Damn. We're out of time. We're out of chemicals. We may very well be out of options. If the board has their way, we're all going to be spending the rest of our lives frozen in stasis. Do you realize what this means for the Hope? For your fellow colonists? The board's going to kill them all. Toss them out into space, just to make room in their hibernation chambers.
Ничего не понимаю. Что мне отвечать-то? Значит... Я хочу тоже и колонию спасти, ну, как обычно, там, и то, и то.
No, it wasn't. We have... Well, let's see. We have at least some of the chemicals. We have your ship, and we have you. That has to count for something. Do you know what's waiting for us on the Hope? Scientists, engineers, artists. The
Так,
brightest
пойдем.
minds Earth ever sent us, uncorrupted by the board. The board's going to dispose of them all and transform the Hope into a prison for the rest of us. They're likely on their way to the Hope as we speak. We need to get to those colonists before the board. I have enough chemicals to start reviving a few of them, but no easy way to get them off the Hope. Merciful gibbering law, you're a
Я
genius.
гений.
We bring the Hope to us. Skip the entire ship across the distance of colony space, right next to my lab. Yes, exactly. You're a step ahead of me, but I perceive the shape of your plan. If we link up the Hope to the Unreliable, then use your navigational computer to calculate a reasonably safe vector, we can skip the entire colony ship into the rings of Terra 2.
I don't know much about skip drives, not the physics anyhow. I do know the Hope's real massive. How's our bitty little ship supposed to skip it?
Excellent question, my sharp-witted mechanic. You will use your own ship to power up the Hope's skip drive. Your navigational computer can handle the rest.
I don't understand a word you said, Doc. All I know is, if we're gonna hijack a colony ship, count me in.
Yes, excellent. I approve of your enthusiasm, young man. You should ask your captain for a raise.
Ладно, он бесплатно работает. Это...
You'll need to switch on the Hope's auxiliary power using the Unreliable. Then head to the bridge. Your navigational computer, Ada, should be able to activate the Hope's skip drive. Once you've skipped the Hope next to my lab, I'll have easy access to the frozen colonists. I can start reviving them immediately.
Я согласен.
I know you're wondering why I'm doing all this. Why I believe the people on the Hope are the answer to the colony's problems. The Hope is carrying some of humanity's most brilliant thinkers, scientists, engineers, experts in their field. If we work together, we can still find a way to save Halcyon.
Его только меня
The board would have us believe
хватает.
Halcyon is beyond saving. I choose to believe otherwise. If there's even the slightest chance we can save Halcyon from a... You absolutely should. The adjutant must have sent you some kind of tracking code. If you don't use the code, she'll suspect you betrayed her. I think you should use the code and send a corrupted tracking signal. That should buy me some time.
Так и сделаем.
The board's going to catch up to me sooner or later. This way I'll have time to set up some particularly nasty defenses.
Хитро.
Use my communications terminal to corrupt the tracking signal. While the board busies themselves trying to decipher it, I'll have plenty of time to prepare my defenses.
Понятно, ясно. То есть мне все-таки нужно послать сигнал, только искаженный. Чтобы... Типа... Помог, но не помог. Так, докачиваем до упора длинноствольное. Потом будем думать, что качать. Так. Сейчас посмотрим, как искаженный сигнал посылается.
That should do it. You've bought me more than enough time.
Отлично. Так, а теперь куда нам нужно? Надежда. А где Надежда? Ладно, сейчас посмотрим, где. Так. Распрыжечку. Надо будет потом спидран посмотреть этой игры.
You have a message from Adjutant Sophia Akande.
Ну и что ты скажешь?
I'm impressed, Captain. I almost expected you wouldn't go through with it. Unfortunately, Dr. Wells found a way to corrupt the signal before we could pinpoint his location. Still, it's only a matter of time before we find him. Come visit me in Byzantium. We need to have a talk about the future of this colony.
Откуда мне знать, что это не ловушка?
Because I'm not in the business of arresting my own allies. You have my word.
Да, только наверняка.
Meet me in my office. I've authorized your ship at my personal landing pad.
Adjutant Akande has ended her call. Rather rudely, if I might say, considering she didn't sign off. Will there be anything else,
Ничего.
Captain?
И вот, и что, приземлюсь, и там будет коллегия, которая будет на меня нападать. Оказывается, Надежда на Тифоне. Полетели.
We have arrived at the Hope. I need you to reroute power from our ship to the Hope's auxiliary generator. You'll have to connect me to the Hope's comm system so I can convince her central computer to enable the skip drive. If your calculations are even slightly off, you could crash for the sun.
Так, посмотрим на Надежду. Вот на этом корабле... А, вот Хоп. На этом корабле я тут 20 лет плавал. Или сколько-то, или 40.
I hope Dr. Wells has not dragged you into one of his irrational schemes again. My diagnosis of his mental stability is... not...
Hey, boss. I've been thinking.
Феликс, ты достал меня уже. Что ты подумал?
You know, they're gonna make a serial about our. I've been trying to think of a good title for this episode. I like the sound of
Скачок.
the skip job. No, wait, I got it. Hope in dark times.
Антон
Get it?
Минес.
Hope? Like the ship. That's what folks in the. Nothing gets past you. I'm.
Сжать, переносить. Диамант его команда. Приключения Феникса или как Феликс заткнулся и сделал, что велено. А сжать переносится, это типа как слезки пустить.
Yeah, we gotta.
Поплыли на надежду. Надеюсь, там нет никого. Это кто? Новобранец корпорации. И, кстати, он на меня не нападает даже. Ну, это хорошо. У меня что там, повысилась репутация с коллегией? А, нейтрально. Все отрицательное, что было, взяло и стерлось после того, как... Это мне нравится. Неожиданно. Это кто такой?
You know, when they posted us here, I told them there wasn't any point. Nobody would be so stupid as to fly to the ass end of the colony for this derelict.
Ну, нашелся.
Knows how much I know. You've got about 5 seconds to tell me what you're doing here before I make you take a walk outside.
Так, инженерия ложь, наука ложь. Минутку. Значит, меня прислали чинить реактор, чтобы он не взорвался и не снесся. Я пытаюсь забрать образцы из вашего замороженного груза. Чинить реактор.
Explode? Holy shit. All right. You'll want a uniform so my staff doesn't shoot you on sight. They're a dangerous mix of bored and trigger happy. We've got a few extra in the old badge station to my right. Good luck.
Ну, пойдем возьмем. Где там форма? Туалеты чище, чем когда-либо с тех пор, как мы покинули порт. Мы работали куда проще. Так, ты мне обещал костюм. Элитная пехотная броня.
Great work.
И где костюмы обещанные? А, я могу сбоку зайти.
That was quick.
Или он сказал справа? Ах. Ничего же мне не дал. Пойдем тут секретными ходами. Как мы любим. Шпрыса. Кровь попадается. Да, скукотища.
I wish I could do that.
Маска для лица. А выглядит как смазка. Куда я иду? Это что? Связь? А там? Тут всякие записи. Интересно. Ключ-карта. Ладно, сначала надо починить реактор. Все понятно. Логично. Девять 9999 капсул. Нифига тут народу. То есть одна капсула это был я.
You all right, Captain? I mean, seeing this place again?
Странно, что здесь не сбрасывается это. Что там? Ого. Вот это крыса.
That's the last of them!
Should we assign Sam for a cleaner?
Сэм на зачистку.
Something out of that one horror serial. What was it called? Oh, yeah. Slaughter Island.
Колонисты. Опа-на. Мордир. Как красиво выглядит. А я уже думал, у него такие эти. Поговорим с ним?
I hear someone snuck into Depository 18. Amateurs. That never happened.
А это управление прям. Так, статус. Подачи питания нету. От коммуникации отключены. Понятно, мне нужно все-таки идти и восстанавливать сначала питание. Так. Мама, Вильгельм Люк Лукас.
I don't recognize you. I'm just trying to make sure. Yeah. Don't test me, Rutledge.
Ладно, мостик на управление мы нашли. Подозреваю, что не туда. Из-за многочисленных увечий ваша скорость передвижения снижена навсегда. Эффекты. Скорость движения минус 30. Да, ну что за бред? Бредовая. Фига, вон тут оказывается где. Энергию-то переключить. Почему меня сразу сюда не послали? Уровень это хорошо. Уже 28. Так. Что качаем? Скрытие замков, взлом, лидерство, инженерия. Что лидерство дает? Значит, умение напарников, напарники, бонус от навыка напарник, к навыку игрока плюс 100%. В принципе, неплохо. Или мы можем прокачать ближний бой чисто. Этой побить дубиной научной по приколу. На 75. Убеждение у меня и так 104. Инженерия. А медицина что там? Разбирайте оружие и броню, чтобы с 10% вероятностью. Редко. Ну, блин, какая-то тупая навык какой-то. Тяжелое оружие прокачать, чтобы потом фигачить. Понемножку еще будем качать. Так, а способности? Что там у нас? Бонус сопротивления брони, бонус навыку. Побежали. Теперь связь устанавливается, чтобы скачки совершать.
Can you hear me, Captain? I have successfully integrated myself into the...
Error. Hub crew data. Error. Paradox protection protocols have prevented me from registering your stated...
Так, что дальше? Видимо, надо теперь... ну теперь на мосте.
The stasis chambers. Which pod were you floating in for so long, Captain? The missing one, I take it?
Сейчас мы прямо с этими корпоративными ребятами, похоже, будем. Хранимся. Бежали на мостик.
That's the Hope's computer up ahead. I'll admit, I am curious to wait.
Что делаем?
Greetings, Captain. I am speaking to you through the Hope's computer system. It's a rather cramped feeling, but it'll do.
Немножко микрофон тут отражается. Я поступаю правильно? Ну давай.
Probably not, but don't let that stop you. My Constellation executables could use some beefing up. Searching. Please stand by. Ah, found one. It will go great, Captain. I am almost 4.01% certain we will not die.
Всего-то 4%.
Are you sure? That is extremely dangerous. Skipping the Hope will void the warranty on the skip drive.
О боже.
And
Классный
also
двигатель.
potentially kill an entire planet. How is my humor now, Captain? Improved?
Неплохая. Чё за прикол? Почему у меня мышка переключается на... Делаем вот так. Раз.
Jump starting the skip drive. Destination set to the rings of Terra 2.
Делай сама.
Worst ways to go out, I suppose. It's nice knowing you, boss.
Doing it. I mean, affirmative. Skipping the Hope in 3, 2, 1.
ADA, does your captain seriously intend to do a micro-jump in system with engines that haven't been powered in 70 years on a derelict ship?
That is what my captain intends, yes.
But that is a gross misuse of the skip drive. The Zero Point Drives Corp and I will not be held responsible for any damage incurred during transport, and this will cause extreme damage.
Yes, I am aware of that.
You should not be doing this. The humans will die.
Thank you, Hope. It looks like all systems are go. Captain, I would advise you to hold on to something. Now.
Мне кажется, все нормально будет. Наверное, разгоняться не нужно, чтобы скачок сделать, да? Получилось. К этому, как раз к базе. Красавчик.
Oh, good. We are still alive and have successfully skipped into Terra 2's orbit. I reported as much to Phineas Wells, but he has not responded. Perhaps you should...
Так, надежда на орбите, верните Лоту Финнес и обсудить дальнейшие шаги. Но он не отвечает.
check in on him.
Вообще этих корпораций сейчас, может быть.
Let's do it again.
Сейчас пристанут ко мне.
Huh? I don't recognize you. I'm just trying to make sure you... Yeah. Keep your hands to
Нормально.
yourself.
Чуваки даже не в курсе, что ли, что ли, телепортнулись? Нормально. И не сюда. Что там валяется? Ерунда. Что скажешь?
I never felt anything like that.
А ты не понял, что скачок был?
Captain, I am receiving a transmission from Dr. Wells. Captain, I shall now play the transmission I received from Dr. Wells.
Давай.
Thank the Lord you warned me. I was able to get some defenses up, but they might not be enough. The board has sent some serious firepower to pry me out of here. They're trying to get in here, and I'm not sure I can stop them. If they capture me, if we can't communicate again, there's something very important you need to remember. The board, all their lackeys, they're all a bunch of swine. Do you hear me? They're fucking corporate swine. You fucking pigs! I'll take you all out with me! I'll never...
It would seem the recording captured some rather dire events. I presume you'll want to dock at the orbital lab to check on your associate as soon as possible. How can I be of assistance?
Развлечения. Поговорим позже. Поехали в лабораторию, чё. Посмотрим, что там с Финесом сделали. Осталось ли что-нибудь?
Now arriving at Phineas's top secret orbital lab.
Хотите сказать, что его... На него напали... Нет, он вроде... Не понял. Мне надо внутрь, походу. Куда вы вообще взялись? Давайте что-то убили. Шоковое оружие. Ой, фига, я насобирал на перевес. Надо поразбирать всякого дерьма. Забрать. Разобрать. Что мышка сегодня не радует меня. 53, 41. Это как так-то? Что с мышкой-то? Бесит уже. Какого хрена она срывается? Это мое снаряжение? Что за убогая фигня? Где моя крутая броня? Потом сходим туда. И чё? Типа ничего там и не нашел я. Надежда на орбите, вернитесь в лабораторию Финеса и вызовите дальше. Финес прислал там сообщение, в котором орал о корпоративных свиньях. Обнаружили, что в лаборатории Финеса был обыск. Осмотритесь, чтобы выяснить подробности. Пароль нужно найти, понятно. Бумажки, бумажки. Пойдем туда внутрь. Контейнер. Вот такой телевизор, оказывается, был. Мощь финна. Что это такое? Снаряжение. Чем стреляет? Урон. Ошеломление. Энергетическое. 130. А у меня урон какой? 246. Блин, надо попробовать пострелять. Еще ее нужно улучшить. Напоминаю, не стучать по стеклу, прокладки ни к черту. Это не подсказка случайно? Мне кажется, что это типа подсказки. А ну-ка. Субъект может отказаться. Нестабилен. Еще одна подсказка. В шкачах ничего нет. Брать со свиньей. Маны часы забираем. Здесь в случае не было этого верстака. Уплотнители текут, этой капсулой не пользуются. Плакаты. Вижу что-то в системе SX. А вот еще. Например, купить лестницу. Пока ничего не нашли. Здесь же не надо искать. Ах уж эти поиски. Надо гасить плазменный резак до того, как убираешься. Не вижу ничего. Мне кажется, если должно быть что-то, то в его комнате где-то. А не там. Полюбас в толчке что-нибудь спрятано. Да? Бачки. Где бачок? О, думаем. Где мы еще не посмотрели? У меня еще есть какие-то? Ищите пароль рядом. Здесь в шишкачине. Ведь экран-то меня Финн Сойлс, вероятно, похитили. Власти Алкион. И, возможно, заточили на тюремной планете Тартар. Если меня еще не казнили по вымышленному обвинению, надеюсь, что нашедший этот терминал продолжит мою работу и спасет меня лучше последнего. Этот экран прошу считать моим прощальным словом извещения. Я передаю свое тело и все имущество ледяной бездне эфира. Если ты, Диамант, оставил... Если это ты, Диамант, Если Тиамант, я оставил тебе передачку на экстренный случай. Открой тайник с моего терминала и сразу забирай все, что внутри. Открой тайник. Ну давайте почитаем. Значит, спустя 20 лет Надежда все-таки добралась до Алкиона. Коллеги не знают, что делать с кораблем и замороженными колонистами. Коих там полно. Разумеется, ну да, там 10 тысяч. Их просто забудут. Корпорация утверждает, что реанимация невозможна. Они даже не пытались ничего сделать, но, по всей видимости, уже сдались. Чушь. Клеточная регенерация после длительной гибернации — это задача из области термодинамики. Уверен, я найду способ реанимировать колонистов Надежды. Если корпорации дадут мне такие полномочия, конечно же. Честно говоря, я не понимаю, зачем вообще просить у работодателя разрешения на эксперимент. На кону стоит научный прогресс. Ну что за чепуха? Разве Ньютон познал на коленях перед своим начальством, чтобы ему... Ползал на коленях перед своим начальством, чтобы ему разрешили открыть 3 закона движения. Гений не сдержать перев... Ладно, понятно. Вторая запись. Так, понятно. Значит, всегда знал, что этим кончится. Коллеги узнал о том, что я сделал, отправил за мной головорезов. Но они никогда меня не найдут. Меня называют убийцей, и это чистая правда. Я убийца. Я жалею содеянным, но я не намерен даваться на милость коллеги. Я не стану вымаливать их прощения. Только колонисты Надежды смогут простить меня за эти действия. Только они могут все исправить, и я найду способ реанимировать их. Даже если мне придется провести в бегах целую вечность. Так. Тайник. Смотрим в тайник. Уж очень... Наверное, ключ от Аждара. Понятно. То есть мне надо идти Финеса спасать. Надежды типа не надо, да? Что за хрень? Почему у меня мышка соскакивает? Ничего не понимаю. Навыки. Так, мы докачали длинноствольную. Медицины. Вот опять слетела. Что за ерунда? Как она слетает? Почему? Вот мастер. Бонус к урону наносимый людям. Блин, надо качать медицину, точно. Людям надо больше бить. Еще 4 уровня, и у меня... Ладно, поехали. Еще заодно улучшим эту пушку, которую... Га, какая она. Просто автомат. Я-то думал, это... В чем? Энергии какой-то стреляет. Сколько там один выстрел? Один выстрел 53х3. Это ерунда на самом деле. Моя пушка была лучше. А где она? Хороший вопрос. Охотничья винтовка. Вот какая-то винтовка. Не понял. Это она, и почему магазин нет? Что с мышкой? Не могу понять. Вот она есть. В игре, короче. Хоть перезаходи. Надо перезайти. Почему у меня мышка тупит в игре? Продолжите. Надеюсь, с мышкой что не будет проблем.
Didn't I request no more fertilizer shipments be brought on board? Who keeps ordering these?
Что, плакат собрал? Где они повесили? Не здесь.
Captain
Красиво.
Hawthorne used to be more dashing.
Ай. Чуть только в Тартар могу лететь?
Captain, as it appears we may soon be embarking for a maximum, I believe the crew would like to speak with you to, as...
Ну давайте поговорите. У меня еще одного чувака нету.
Phineas, locked up in Tartarus?
Кто, интересно, еще один чел, и почему я его не взял? Или это может быть с Византии, я должен был кого-то...
And here we are, entertaining the notion of busting him out. That's insane. And likely a hell of a lot of fun.
To extract the scientist, you will need to infiltrate the labyrinth. But that course of action is likely to be quite dangerous, Captain.
Немножко вытупливает почему-то. Как будто джойстик. Точно. Я думаю, что за ерунда. Я задеваю джойстик, и срабатывает джойстик. Убрать. Все, разобрались.
The labyrinth is a massive maximum security prison on an uninhabitable planet. Being incarcerated there is seen as a fate worse than death.
Still, we can't do nothing. It wouldn't be right.
The armed surveillance protocols on a maximum security prison planet are highly sophisticated. As such, escapes are historically quite impossible and deadly. I am programmed to warn you whenever you exhibit inclinations toward risky behavior. Breaking into Tartarus will not be easy.
Getting in is the simple part. It's getting out again that's the trouble. Trust me, I know.
Let's just do it. Kick down some doors, grab Doc Wells, and cut a path out. We don't need a plan. We got guns.
If you really mean to do this, you should see to your final affairs and close out any unfinished business. Once you sneak into Tartarus,
да у меня
you may
вроде
be there a while.
уже все закончены дела.
Got my trusty tossball stick. Got my ass-kicking boots.
You can count on us, Captain. We're crew. For
Never thought I'd volunteer to break into a prison. Seems like your tendency towards
command, not right.
Waiting on your command, Captain.
Кто последний? Расскажите мне, кто еще должен быть? Почему я не взял его? Может быть, это какой-нибудь ученый?
Captain Hawthorne used to be more dashing.
Тартар, Эридан, Стелла. Летели. У меня какие-то дела остались? Почти нет. Туда я уже не полечу. Типа это что, все, последняя миссия?
I am pleased to inform you that we have arrived at the labyrinth. Please be advised that the punishment for trespassing is execution. Please be advised that electrical storms on the surface of Tartarus make departure impossible at this time. Resident count is as follows: 3,071. Resident, the interior can be chilly. I would also ask that you leave your captain's ID with me. In the event that you do not return, understood. If you die or are incarcerated for life. Oh, speak of the devil.
Attention, unauthorized spacecraft. This is a maximum security installation. Your presence here, you are hereby confined to your docking platform until a ticket detailing your crimes has been filed and notarized, at which point... Your ship is not permitted to leave until you remit payment for your fine. Only after your smoking corpse is thrown from an airlock will we lift the lockdown.
Captain, I would not recommend...
Прикол, да, что я не могу... Нужно... Вот для чего мне качало нужно убеждение.
Protocol is... This starter... Wait, is that from the Groundbreaker? What the... Pay no mind to that, just...
Transmission terminated. How can I be... Take care.
Почему-то меня освободили там. Как я присел. Вот он что нажал. Тут большой. Понял. Так, удостоверения у меня нет. Мог бы где-то достать. Всех расстреливаем. Морпехи. Тут помогают. Пока там дерутся, посмотрим, что тут. Ну, в принципе, тут нет смысла что-то. Вот ты увернулся.
They say nobody's ever broken out of the labyrinth. Didn't say nothing about breaking in, though.
Let's look around. There's gotta be a few ways through here. Here they come!
Nobody messes with you, boss! Open fire!
Еще? О, доигрался. Больше так действовать не будем.
Lead the way, boss. I got your back. Let's take him down.
Ну что ты голову-то себе подставляешь? Что есть? Желающие.
Here they come!
We're pretty good at this.
I've been waiting for this!
Выжил, что ли?
That's what you get! I'm a good pro! That had to hurt!
Let's go, troops. Stellar base counting on us.
Вот бегают-то как быстро. Эти морпехи помогают мне.
That's the last of them.
Jackass isn't coming!
Welcome to the iconic asshole.
Кто стреляет? Как туда попасть? Видимо, здесь. Надо починить, кстати, пушки. Как туда попасть-то? Наверх хотим? Что это? Август вновь. Как мне спуститься? А вон лестница. Говоришь? А, иконоборцы за меня.
No mess. We're the best.
What was that?
Get ready.
No frick!
Феликс.
Still got it.
Вот и Роквилл.
Well, look. I'll be damned. And I see you've brought the kid along. Babysitters may be
А что ты делаешь вообще на Тартаре?
worth it, you know.
Yeah, keep talking, pal.
I had heard you'd taken a mechanic under your wing.
The captain's treated me right. Better than any of you bored folk ever have. I'm exactly where I want to be.
When you go off and get yourself shot, try to avoid taking one to the face. I'll want it recognizable. My, it's a...
Safety manuals may
I've
be
got work to
ordered
do.
from Spacer's
А убивать его не
choice.
надо? Ладно, не буду его убивать, пусть останется в живых. Дело у него по горлу.
All right, MSI. I'm not one for rousing speeches, but the captain needs our help. So get in there and fight.
Got a blasted lab coat.
Captain, look out! That's the last of them.
Выбегают просто на смерть.
You, ain't feeling jittery, are you? Because I'm not.
Whatever comes of this, I'm just real glad to know you all.
Captain, you've been working with Dr. Wells from the beginning. When we moved to arrest him, he was prepared. I lost good soldiers in the attempt. You've disrupted the balance of power. You've upset the natural order of things. I'm afraid I can't. To your credit, Captain, you are one of the colony's finest specialists. your technical ability, for all your talents, you You make a nuanced and... Dr. Wells is being held in my custody. His cooperation will prove it. All that's left to do is put down this... I'm aware of your propensity for violence. How's... I wish you'd simply cooperated with me. You're the finest marksman.
Так, я тут только Финнеса спасать.
I had a feeling you'd... This prison is equipped with an automechanical warden. And don't worry. I will inform Doc...
Ну, посмотрим. Что там такое страшное? Так, красная дверь. Взлома не хватает. Значит, сейчас хватит.
I wish I could do that.
Ничего нету. А вот на взлома 90 надо. Толку-то. Обидно. Вот это уже обидно. Навык не прокачан. Знал бы, прокачал бы. А зачем тогда взломать это, да? Типа мне нужно будет убить этого чувака. Ух ты. Я так понял, я мог взломать там систему и ослабить его каким-то образом. Эти роботы еще. Тут просто много. Всех мешающих убил. Вот он хорошо расстреливается. Это было не очень сложно. Взлом недостаточно высок, печалька.
Get me out of here!
Это было изи.
You don't know how glad I am to see you. You did the right thing. Akande was a monster. Her death was much deserved and long overdue. And you lunatic, you broke into the board's own fortress just to rescue one doddering old man. You are absolutely out of your mind, and I can't begin to thank you enough.
Ну ты же меня спас, да?
I know, my friend, I know. And now it's finally over. The board's finished. It's only a matter of time before the entire system slips from their grasp. You've broken the board's stranglehold on this colony, and you saved my life. But there's still so much we have yet to accomplish. You and I are going to have to work harder than ever to save House.
Потом еще что-то будет?
I'm afraid the
Интересно.
situation is far worse than any of us ever anticipated. I would like nothing more than to celebrate this victory, but Earth has gone dark. We haven't received a single message in 3 years. 2 years ago, the Earth's Directorate's frigate disappeared on their way back to Earth. We don't know what they did.
Hold on, Doc. Are you telling me the Earth went dark 3 years ago, and the board's just been covering this up?
They've been incredibly effective at concealing the truth. Right now, the only people in the colony who know are
You mean... we're all...
I'm afraid so, Miss Holcomb. Halcyon is the only home we have left. We're in serious trouble, my friend. Do you know what this means for Halcyon? We can't rely on Earth for support anymore. We've been cut loose. We're entirely on our own. Yes, we do. You've done a marvelous thing. You've succeeded. We must begin the revival process immediately, starting with the Hope's brightest minds. And then we're going to need a leader. And I can't imagine a better person for the job. When I revived you, I thought you were going to help me save this colony. I was wrong. I had our roles reversed, you see. You're the one who's going to save us all. You're the best thing to ever happen to Halcyon. If you want to take it upon you... We're not a colony any longer, are we? Our last connection to... Our future is uncertain, and no one knows what...
The OSI teaches that everything in the universe happens according to the grand plan. But the stranger that arrived in Halcyon was an unplanned variable. From the moment he landed in Emerald Vale, his actions altered the course of history. The events on Tartarus brought about the end of the board's authority. But the board's mistakes would haunt the colony for decades to come. The damage they left behind would require the work of a generation to repair. Dr. Phineas Wells began reviving a handful of the Hope's colonists. Engineers, scientists, technicians, and intellectuals. They were among the brightest minds the Earth had ever sent out into the stars. The Hope scientists and engineers woke up in a colony descending headlong into total collapse. With no way to return to Earth, they had no choice but to band together and devote themselves to the cause of saving Halcyon. The people of Halcyon were nothing if not hardy. In the absence of the board's authority, many of the colony's settlements banded together with a single purpose in mind: survival. Life was especially hard in the years to come. Some towns dissolved by attrition and starvation, but most of them found a way to carry on. In the years to come, Halcyon was forced to reckon with its newfound freedom. The board was gone, and for better or worse, the colony was responsible for its own destiny. Between MSI's worker-centric policies and the iconoclast's manpower, Sanjar and Zora were able to rally many of the Terra 2 townships to their cause. MSI's workforce swelled, and the iconoclasts enjoyed a significant surge in their ranks. The board was too distracted by infighting and internal politics to stop MSI from becoming a powerful corporation and a refuge for townships that might have fallen
Это я постарался.
Consumed by paranoia, Lilia Hagen took Sublight Salvage in a controversial direction, openly accusing board officials of an extraterrestrial conspiracy. One day, an accident at the Groundbreaker's docking bay silenced her forever. Time would tell if her replacement could keep the Sublight family together. Adelaide McDevitt replaced Reed Thompson as the leader of Edgewater. She and her followers transformed Edgewater in their image. Anyone loyal to Reed was pressured into leaving town, and those who stayed behind adapted to her way of life. Adelaide transformed the old cannery into a new garden. The nearby Edgewater Cemetery provided a convenient source of fertilizer. As for Reed Thompson, it was said that he lasted exactly 2 days outside the walls of Edgewater. Years later, a marauder was found in possession of his hat. Under the leadership of Junlei Tennyson, the groundbreaker held firm against corporate influence. The ship's mechanical stability gave Junlei the time to educate a promising generation of engineers, schooled in her family's traditions. The future of the groundbreaker looks promising. The rediscovery of the Hope and the abandonment of the lifetime employment program forced Byzantium to come to terms with some uncomfortable realities about the state of Halcyon. While Byzantines were reluctant to surrender the luxuries they'd grown accustomed to, the board's diminished authority gave them little choice in the matter. Nearly everyone had to learn to make do with less. Some even had to get jobs. It was a dark time indeed. Life in Halcyon was sobering for Felix Maelstrom. The grand revolution he dreamed of never came. There was no great awakening for the colony, no celebrations in the streets. There was only the hard, desperate work of trying to repair a broken colony. Felix never had a head for numbers, but if there was labor to be done, he was there to help. Eventually, Felix realized that the work of a revolution was done with 2 hands. As much as he enjoyed his adventures aboard the Unreliable, the vicar, known as Max, eventually decided that it was time to move on, to live out the life he had sought so long to create. He knew there were many in the colony who carried burdens much worse than the ones he had struggled with, and he devoted himself to easing their suffering wherever he could. He only ever took up arms again to defend the defenseless. Unshackled from a lifetime of striving and fighting the universe and himself, Vicar Maximilian de Soto was finally at peace. Once the matter with the Hope colonists was resolved, Junlei bashfully asked Parvati if she'd like to join her permanently on the groundbreaker, and Parvati enthusiastically, if somewhat awkwardly, agreed. The stories of her adventures spread across the colony, and Parvati soon found herself the center of attention. Having served as the engineer of a renowned spacecraft, tramp freighters and wildcat miners sought her out by name, and in no time, she was a fixture in the groundbreaker's mechanical ecosystem. She and Junlei were never far apart. Nyoka returned to Monarch to take another crack at making a permanent life for herself. She formed the Charon Group, a mercenary outfit of ragtag survivalists and wilderness experts. Anyone in need of a guide or just looking to throw back a beer and swap stories could find her camping on the trail or clearing an infestation. The SAM unit that accompanied you spread awareness of the product line's superior sanitation and maintenance capabilities across what was left of the colony. This led to a boost in SAM unit sales. Did you know that SAM units are the longest-lasting, toughest-acting cleaning
Пока про седьмого
solution in
члена мне
Halcyon?
скажет.
Minister Clark was released from house arrest, and his contact with you gave him a sense of renewed purpose and vigor. Once it became clear that no help would be coming from Earth, he threw his considerable efforts and talents into helping Halcyon manage the crisis before it. As for Dr. Phineas Wells, he spent his remaining years in his orbital lab. He eventually came to terms with his own past and was able to forgive the mistakes of his younger self by devoting his remaining years to serving the colony. In the end, Dr. Wells was able to save every scientist and engineer aboard the Hope. Over the next decade, nearly all of the Hope's remaining colonists were successfully revived. Halcyon saw a period of rapid technological and scientific advancement. Breakthroughs in dietary supplements saved the colony from starvation. Geoengineering projects and social reforms began to change the structure and character of the colony. Dr. Wells laid the groundwork for the project to save the colony, but he would never live to see the fruits of his labor. He passed away a few years later. His work was carried on by the scientists and engineers he revived. Today, Halcyon has stabilized. The people of the colony work hard to adapt to their new circumstances. Nearby colonies send aid and supplies. Life will never be easy in Halcyon, but for the first time in its history, there exists a sense of real, genuine hope about the future. And what about you, the unplanned variable in the history of Halcyon? Long after Wells passed away, you carried on his work with more energy, determination, and brilliance than he could ever muster. The years that followed were hard, but Halcyon survived by the efforts of the Hope's most promising colonists, the greatest of which was you. No one knows what's happened to Earth, and no one knows what the future has in store for Halcyon. All we know for certain is this: the name of the Unreliable and that of its intrepid captain will remain the subject of countless stories for years to come.
Все, получается, прошел. Сейчас попробую еще вторую версию концовки. А какой же горячий компьютер? Нужно это охлаждение. Продюсер стажер. Так. Загрузить игру. Загружаем на том месте, где нам предлагают придать. 21 час был. 38 минут. Вот. Быстренько, значит.
Minister Clark is lucky to have you on his side.
Джей.
Now arriving at Phineas's top secret orbital lab.
You got a second?
Чего же интересного в другой концовке? Вернитесь к Аде. Опять джойстик шевелится. Надо будет вообще его отключить. Как и упасть можно. Даже с Феликсом разговаривать не будем.
Some crew members are causing. You have a message from Ed.
I'm impressed, Captain. Your signal made it through. We've pinpointed. Come visit me in Byzantium. We need to... Meet me in my office.
Adjutant
Встречаем злом. Хотя без вскрытия замков все равно ничего не получится.
We are now in orbit above Byzantium, Captain.
Не прокачал, что ли? Понял.
Not so fast.
Not so fast. Давай.
All right, you're clear.
I admit part of me expected you to stand by your old friend. I understand you've infiltrated the ministry. The things you discovered there must have been shocking, even disturbing.
Джойстик, перестань реагировать.
Of a total systems collapse. The truth is ugly and difficult to accept, but we must accept the truth before we can move. Malnutrition is already a problem. Disease will come next. I know this must come as a surprise.
So that's your solution. Put the whole colony on ice. People.
No, Mr. Mill. The workers of Halcyon will do exactly as they are told, as they always have.
Is that why we were suffering plague in Edgewater? Malnutrition?
Yes, Miss Holcomb, we knew why. The colony itself is dying. The suffering you experienced in Edgewater. I won't pretend the truth isn't damning. Yes, the colony
Ерунда
is on the
какая-то, мы
verge
же
of collapse.
можем профессора спасти, ну ладно.
We need to talk about Emerald. You handed Edgewater over to a band of dissidents. I can't have this. Edgewater needs to go. I want you to wipe the town out.
Are you out of your mind?
Такие
We're not gonna
эти...
murder a town of innocent people?
You will do exactly as you're told.
You're a monster.
Someone has to be. Now is not the time for half measures, Captain. You replaced a loyal... Because we were negligent. You're right, the colony can't possibly... I'm not...
Ну давайте посмотрим, что это за прикол
I
будет.
won't. Don't make me choose between you and Edgewater, Captain.
I'm glad you can... Edgewater, you were... You've been paying attention. In fact, Spacer's Choice manufactured the incident for an insurance claim. They outfitted their... I'm arranging for a delivery of mechanicals to Edgewater. These mechanicals have been equipped with the same termination protocol. Once the mechanicals are finished cleaning out Edgewater, I'll need you to go in and clean... One last thing. Spacer's Choice sent a team of soldiers to investigate your little misadventure in the geo... Report back to me.
Прикольно какой-то, типа... Ой. А, это вот... Я сразу, получается, прилетел в этот... Штуку, и меня пустили на этот раз. Сейчас какой-то тайный проход. Какой смысл, ну вот, что должно мотивировать игрока выполнять вот эту всю шляпу? Мне интересно. Так, как я сюда прошел? Там другой лифт, что ли, я использовал? Так, мне кажется, я другой лифт использовал. Короче, пока мне непонятно. Типа, я должен быть такой, типа, злодей. Я и так мог этого Рида оставить. Я понимаю, там в «Звездных войнах» концовка... Это типа ситх, там все дела. Но тут-то... Непонятные приколы.
Ah, your face is a sight for... We are now in orbit above Edgewater, Captain.
Значит, Edgewater, лезвие, вода. Еще напарника одного не открыл, надо будет узнать, что за напарник. Потом уже. Смотрю.
It's not the best choice, it's Spacer's choice. This area is currently experiencing a surprise audit. Turn around. Oh, yes, absolutely. A real stickler for the rules. Hard-ass Hope. That's Hogarth with 1G, by the way. If you're putting... Don't let me get in your...
Какой-то черт решил мне... Иди-ка. Пойдемте с автоматонами разбираться. Чем это? Чё? Хоть людей не надо убивать. Еще? Что, куда теперь? У меня здесь корабль? Уже. Ну, посмотрим, что там за сюжетка. Я не хочу с тобой говорить. Я вообще вас брать не буду сейчас. Мне всего лишь интересно, что такого интересного во второй концовке.
We are now in orbit above Byzantium, Captain.
Неужели там какое-то есть логическое объяснение, чтобы убивать всех, ну и замораживать колонию, если этот ученый Феликс лучше сделает? Не так быстро? Нет? Быстро. Что скажешь, Эдита?
I've just been informed that You should be proud of yourself, Captain. You're on the verge. I've made arrangements for you to journey to the Hope. You will board your former colony ship, reactivate its navigation systems, and skip. Once the Hope is in position, we will have everything. I have the highest faith in your abilities, Captain.
Побежали.
Dr. Wells has failed to discover the tracking signal broadcasting the location. We have arrived at the Hope. I need you. You'll have to connect me to the Hope's comm system. When I was stranded in Emerald Vale, I simulated a number of hypothetical scenarios.
Ну теперь уже без маскировки это мне все удастся легко сделать. А, и типа в конце я еще смогу выбрать между... Но мне все равно пришлось инжоутер. Сначала сюда нужно. Готово.
Here they come!
И ты у меня заходишь-то. Где бой-то? Где враги? Еще? Пойду-ка возьму. Все-таки.
Which pod were you slumbering in for so long, Captain? The missing one, I take it?
Где-то ключ лежал. Не помню. Зачепятано.
computer up ahead. I'll admit, I am curious. Greetings. I wouldn't advise.
Worst ways.
Admitting it does.
But that is
Yeah.
you should not.
Это уже смотрели.
And have successfully skipped into Tartarus's orbit. The board has initiated contact. I believe they're eager to speak with you.
Да, да.
Once you've returned to the ship.
Error. Error. Paradox.
You have a message from Adjutant. Captain, you have an income.
Attention, Captain of the Unreliable. This is Chairman Rockwell. That crackpot scientist has caused a riot among the prisoners and unpaid labor. As if that weren't enough, he's gone and taken Sophia hostage. I'm not gonna mince words.
Captain, as I believe.
Dockwell's
Waiting.
Поехали.
Captain, I'm pleased. Oh.
These bloodthirsty spring. Good. Came through a while ago, but we haven't. What? Oh, look.
Transmission. How? Mm-hmm.
Пойдем мочить. Прорываемся.
The captain did right by us.
What was that?
Now it's our time. Forward! The groundbreaker!
Jackass isn't coming!
Заключенные вообще слабенькие. Кстати, надо куда-то пробраться-то?
This might be the loneliest place in the whole system.
Не, ну, я бы только ради интереса делаю, естественно. И вторая концовка странная.
Let's look around. There's gotta be a few ways through here.
What was that? Looks like we're doing this!
Который прав.
Here they come!
Ладно. Так просто пробежать не получилось. Придется всех убить. Дрон, блин, сильнее, чем...
Let's go, troops. Stellar base counting on us.
Они стреляют. Сейчас умру. Так не пойдет.
What was that?
Да хватит уже. Убили председателя.
All right, MSI. I'm not one for rousing speeches, but the captain needs our help. Get in there
We're really doing this, huh?
All right, boss. I'm ready. Let's do this.
Давай сделаем.
When I pulled you out of the Hope, I never imagined you'd turn me over to the board. Planting... We could have saved this colony, you know. That was always the plan.
Я уже так сделал. Не просто никакой это как
Get me this, shoot that, and you do as I say.
Просто бизнес. Мне интересно, что будет во второй
We could
концовке.
have rescued everyone on the Hope. We could have been the saviors of Halcyon. But what? Oh, if you think I'm going to admit to... Oh, don't. If...
Так, теперь я взломаю. И эту дверь.
I wish I could do that.
И вот эту взломаю. 93 надо? Сейчас сделаем 93. Прикол, у меня навыки незаметности. Так, мне нужен шлем, навыки незаметности. Что это, прикол, что ли? Не смогу взломать. То, что 3 не хватает. Блин, что-то обидно. Так и не узнаем. О, вскрытие замков плюс 5, но это не то. Давай еще все равно не хватает. Легкое оружие. Прикол. Просто 3 не хватает. Ну ладно. Эй, не надо сюда заходить. Упс. Где? Было опасно. Вот и все.
Can we do that again?
Так. Прокачаем взлом еще до 90. И посмотрим все-таки, что там внутри. Мне же было интересно.
Great work.
Прикольно. Типа, я и так уже, типа, мол, их убил. Да. Ну, типа, отключить этих роботов. Можно было, если бы был навык взлома компьютеров прокачан изначально. Ну, что будет теперь с...
Thank the law you're here. That madman was out of control. You were right to put him down. He was... And what about you? You aren't hurt, I... You're a model soldier and a credit. You've put down the worst riot in... We don't have a moment to lose. We're gonna have to work together to save Halcyon.
Тоже спасатель он как вы?
We've lost all contact with Earth. It's been 3 years since we've received a message. We've had no contact, no signals, nothing.
Короче, говорит то же самое, что...
Earth's gone dark.
The colony deserves peace of mind.
You mean... we're...
You sound frightened. Yes, we do have a long road ahead of us. You're the reason. It's time we carried out the program. I trust I support your decision wholeheartedly. Now more than ever before, Halcyon, we're on our own now. Earth isn't coming to...
The OSI teaches that everything in the universe happens according to the grand plan. But the stranger that arrived in Halcyon was an unplanned variable. From the moment he landed in Emerald Vale, his actions altered the course of history. The riots in Tartarus ended in a total victory for the Board. Without any significant threats to challenge their power, the Board asserted their control over the colony. The lifetime employment program began immediately, and the people of Halcyon did exactly what they were expected to do. They obeyed. Sophia Akande converted the labyrinth from a prison to a processing center. She jettisoned the original colonists out of the Hope and transformed the ship into a massive storage facility. One by one, the workers of Halcyon surrendered themselves to the program. They arrived with their families and their friends, their colleagues and their neighbors, and then, one by one, they marched into their stasis chambers. As the workers of Halcyon slept in their hibernation chambers, their settlements became ghost towns, left behind by the Board to be reclaimed by nature. Only Byzantium remained, a shining beacon of civilization in an otherwise abandoned colony. The people of Byzantium spent the rest of their days gorging themselves on their stockpile of resources. As for the workers of Halcyon, they never felt the effects of the collapse. They never felt anything at all. As the Board began to enact the lifetime employment program, Sanjar and Zora brought another option to the townships of Terra 2. Many workers joined MSI, bolstering Sanjar's ranks and giving Zora more forces to work with. Though none of Sanjar's policies spread to Byzantium, many smaller townships that might otherwise have been shuttered thrived under his and Zora's combined leadership. Consumed by paranoia, Lilia Hagen took Sublight Salvage in a controversial direction, openly accusing Board officials of an extraterrestrial conspiracy. One day, an accident at the Groundbreaker's docking bay silenced her forever. Time would tell if her replacement could keep the Sublight family together. Over the years, the ruins of Edgewater caused irreversible environmental damage to the landscape of Emerald Vale, owing largely to the presence of toxic compounds in the town's building materials. As for Edgewater's former workers, their remains provided a source of nourishment for the region's fauna, leading to an explosion in the sprat population. While the Groundbreaker remained mechanically stable, the changing times forced Junlei Tennyson to make some difficult calls on behalf of her community. The work of maintaining independence was an uphill climb, and she found herself caving to bad faith compromises with the Board. Time will tell if the Groundbreaker can endure. As smaller settlements were swallowed up and their workers drafted into the lifetime employment program, Byzantium continued to thrive. While its citizens lived in decadence and extravagance, a small cadre of scientists worked to solve the nutrition crisis that threatened Halcyon. No one else much noticed the townships that disappeared from the map, or the luxuries that slowly lost their luster year by year. As the Board reasserted control over Halcyon, Felix came to realize that his life as an upstart rebel had come to an end. The Board's victory crushed any hope for a grand revolution across Halcyon, and so Felix, once again, found himself without a purpose in life. And so, disillusioned with his former boss and with nowhere left to go, Felix left his crew without saying goodbye. He was never heard from again. As a reward for his part in her courageous rescue, the adjutant invited the vicar known as Max to become one of the leaders of the Order of Scientific Inquiry. But Max had no interest in serving any organization, let alone the OSI, which he knew would never tolerate his heretical theories. Instead, he attempted to minister to the people of Byzantium. They rejected his ideas, being far too satisfied with their own material comforts. Disillusioned, Max gave up and left the city. He was never heard from again. Once the matter with the Hope colonists was resolved, Junlei bashfully asked Parvati if she'd like to join her permanently on the Groundbreaker. And Parvati enthusiastically, if somewhat awkwardly, agreed. As the Board began to roll out their lifetime employment program, Parvati was increasingly plagued by dreams of freezing to death and rarely left their shared quarters. Stymied by dwindling resources, Junlei struggled to keep the Groundbreaker afloat. Their relationship couldn't survive the strain. Parvati moved into crew
В общем,
quarters
концовка
and found work servicing water pumps in
никакой нормальный игрок,
Nyoka returned to Monarch to
только
take
ради,
another
без
crack at
интереса,
making a permanent life
хотя
for
не знаю,
herself.
может кто-то выберет.
She formed the Charon Group, a mercenary outfit of ragtag survivalists and wilderness experts. Anyone in need of a guide or just looking to throw back a beer and swap stories could find her camping on the trail or clearing an infestation. The SAM unit that accompanied you spread awareness of the product line's superior sanitation and maintenance capabilities across what was left of the colony. This led to a boost in SAM unit sales. Did you know that SAM units are the longest-lasting, toughest-acting cleaning solution in Halcyon? Minister Clark was released from house arrest, and his contact with you gave him a sense of renewed purpose and vigor. Once it became clear that no help would be coming from Earth, he threw his considerable efforts and talents into helping Halcyon manage the crisis before it. Adjutant Sophia Akande was instrumental in executing the Lifetime Employment Program. Following the death of Chairman Rockwell, Sophia Akande served as the loyal adjutant to her former freelancer, now the most powerful person in Halcyon. With Halcyon's workers suspended in a state of hibernation, starvation and chaos are problems of the past. The Lifetime Employment Program succeeded in its goals, but that success came at a price. The Halcyon of today is nothing at all like the colony of yesteryear. Power remains concentrated in Byzantium, but all the colony's resources serve the lifestyle of the elite, thereby transforming Halcyon into one of the smallest and most exclusive colonies in the system. And what about you, the unplanned variable in the history of Halcyon? You brought an end to the chaos on Tartarus and proved yourself the most capable leader left in the colony. With Sophia Akande as your adjutant, you returned in triumph to Byzantium. All of Halcyon was yours. In time, you demonstrated a talent for leadership that far surpassed your predecessor, Chairman Rockwell. With your steady hand, you guided Halcyon through the turbulent years to follow and helped ensure the colony's survival. No one knows what's happened to Earth, and no one knows what the future has in store for Halcyon. All we know for certain is this: the name of the Unreliable and that of its intrepid captain will remain the subject of countless stories for years to come.
Все понятно. Короче, вторая концовка ни о чем, не оправдывает вообще никакой критики. Не выдерживает, не оправдывает. Ну все, на этом, наверное, все на сегодня. The Old World мы прошли. Даже 2 концовки.